The blackness of space stretched endlessly around Commander Jackson Roan's small recon ship, Valkyrie 7. Stars blinked in the distance like cold, distant eyes. The hum of the ship's engines was steady and soft, almost comforting. Jackson sat in the cockpit, scanning the dark space ahead. He was near Sector Delta 9, a place no human was allowed to enter. The treaty with the alien coalition made that very clear. After the war, Delta 9 was sealed off. Too many had died there. Too many secrets were buried in its silent corners. Still, Jackson had been ordered to patrol the border. Nothing unusual ever happened out here. It was just him, his ship, and long stretches of empty time. He sipped cold coffee from a metal cup, then glanced at the screen. Something blinked. He leaned forward. "Unidentified signal detected," said the ship's eye. Its voice was smooth, neutral. "Source: deep inside Sector Delta 9. Jackson frowned. "Show me." A red dot pulsed on the map. It was faint, but real. A human signal, old Earth Federation code. Not a distress signal, just a slow, repeating ping. He sat back in his chair. That wasn't possible. No human ship should be there. The Federation had pulled out of Delta 9 years ago. He opened a secure channel. "Command, this is Valkyrie 7. I've picked up a human signal inside the restricted zone. Requesting instructions." Static buzzed for a moment. Then came the reply. "Valkyrie 7, this is command. Ignore the signal. Stay on your patrol path. Repeat, do not enter Sector Delta 9. Jackson stared at the screen. His hand hovered over the controls. "Copy that," he said aloud. But he didn't turn away. The signal was weak, but it was repeating every 60 seconds. He checked the code again. It was old, but familiar. Then it hit him. It matched the code once used by the ship his sister had served on. The Eclipse, lost during the final battle of the war. No one had ever found it. No wreckage. No remains. Jackson's jaw tightened. Maybe it was just coincidence. Maybe it was nothing. But something in his chest stirred. An old, heavy ache that never quite healed. He turned off the comms and stared at the pulsing dot. "I'm going in," he said softly. The AI responded. "Warning. Entering Sector Delta 9 violates Federation regulations. Proceed anyway." "Yes." The engines flared. The Valkyrie 7 turned, and the stars shifted. As he crossed the invisible border, a deep chill ran down Jackson's spine. The space beyond was darker, colder. He didn't know what he would find. Maybe it was a trap. Maybe he'd be court-martialed. But if there was even a small chance his sister's ship was out there, he had to know. The signal grew stronger. Jackson's ship moved deeper into Sector Delta 9. The stars outside looked different here, dimmer, almost faded. The space felt heavier, like the silence was pressing in. His eyes stayed on the scanner. The signal was getting stronger, clearer. It was definitely human. "Estimate arrival in 2 minutes," the ship's AI said. "Slow us down," Jackson ordered. "Let's not surprise anyone." The Valkyrie 7 glided forward, lights off, weapons offline. He didn't want to provoke whatever was waiting. Then he saw it. A large structure appeared out of the darkness. Half hidden in the shadows, it was a strange mix of alien design and human engineering. At the center was an old Federation ship, docked like a parasite to the side of an ancient alien station. Jackson's heart pounded. He zoomed in. The ship's markings were faint, but clear enough. EFS Eclipse. His sister's ship, the same one that vanished years ago. "Life signs?" he asked. "Minimal," the AI replied. "Unclear. Some movement detected inside the alien structure." Jackson stared at the screen. "I'm going in." The AI paused. "Warning. Boarding protocol is unsafe. Recommend remote scan only." "I said I'm going in." He suited up quickly. Helmet sealed, oxygen steady, weapon holstered. As the airlock hissed open, cold fog swirled around him. He floated toward the eclipse with careful movements. The docking bay looked untouched, just old and silent. The ship was dark. Power flickered weakly in a few panels. He stepped inside. The air was still. Dust floated in slow motion. Jackson moved through narrow halls, scanning each room. No bodies, no signs of a fight. Just emptiness. But the ship was too quiet, too clean, like something had erased what happened. He reached the bridge. The controls were powered down. Logs were wiped. Someone did this on purpose, he muttered. Suddenly, a soft hum came from deeper in the alien station. A low light blinked to life down a corridor. He followed it. Alien walls replaced metal ones. The design was strange, organic and smooth, like the station had grown instead of being built. The air was warmer. Lights glowed under the floor like veins. Then he heard it. Footsteps. He raised his weapon. Identify yourself. No answer. He turned a corner and stopped. A figure stood at the end of the hall. A woman. Human. Pale skin. Short dark hair. Eyes calm and cold. She smiled. You finally came, she said. Jackson froze. His voice caught in his throat. Who are you? She stepped closer. The light behind her revealed her face. He recognized it. Vera Thorne. Vera had been declared dead 6 years ago. A top Federation scientist, missing in action during the war. You shouldn't be alive, Jackson said. I am, she replied. Thanks to this place. Jackson lowered his weapon slightly, confused. What is this? Why are you here? She tilted her head. You came looking for answers. I've been waiting. Jackson's mind raced. What was she doing here? And why did the eclipse, his sister's ship, lead him straight to her? Nothing about this made sense. But one thing was clear. This wasn't just a wreck in deep space. It was a trap. Jackson stared at Vera Thorne, still trying to believe she was real. She looked older, but not by much. Her skin was pale, almost too smooth. Her eyes glowed faintly, like there was something behind them that wasn't fully human. How are you alive? He asked. Vera gave a small smile. The same way this station still breathes. Alien technology, left behind long ago. I found it before anyone else. And it found me. Jackson glanced around. The walls pulsed with soft light. The air felt warm and alive. This place kept you alive, he said. No, she said. It changed me. It saved me. And it showed me a new way to save others. Jackson stepped back, hand near his weapon. What are you talking about? Vera turned and walked down the corridor. Come, I'll show you. He hesitated, then followed. They entered a large circular chamber. The ceiling was high, covered in glowing patterns. In the center stood a column of light, humming softly. Around it, glass-like panels floated in the air, displaying data in alien symbols and human code. This is the core, Vera said. It connects minds. Not just thoughts. Everything. Memory. Emotion. Identity. It merges them all. Jackson frowned. A neural link. She nodded, but far more advanced. With this, we can end war. End pain. Everyone linked. No more fear. No more hate. Just unity. That's not unity, Jackson said. That's control. Vera looked at him calmly. Control is peace. No. Control is slavery. Vera sighed. I knew you'd say that. I said the same once. Before I saw the truth. She stepped closer to the core. I tested it first with machines, then with animals, then volunteers, some from your federation. Willing, but broken, lost after the war. You're using people. Jackson's voice rose. You're experimenting on them. I'm helping them, she said firmly. They were suffering. Now they're free. Jackson shook his head. This is wrong. This is madness. She turned to him, her tone still calm. Jackson, your sister was the first. She was already dying when she arrived. She asked me to save her. So I did. Jackson froze. What did you say? She's part of the network now. Her memories live on. Her pain is gone. He stepped back, his breath caught in his throat. You used her. She's not gone, Vera said softly. You can join her. Join all of them. Jackson's hands clenched into fists. His heart pounded with anger and grief. I didn't come here to become part of a machine. Vera tilted her head. I didn't invite you here just to talk. I need a stable link to expand the network. You were always a perfect candidate. The lights in the room dimmed. The core's hum grew louder. Jackson reached for his weapon. Vera didn't move. If you destroy this place, you destroy everyone inside, including your sister. Jackson stood still. His hand trembled. I won't let you control them, he said. Then you leave me no choice. The floor beneath him lit up with a blue glow. Panels around the room shifted. Drones came to life, their eyes red and scanning. Vera stepped into the light of the core. It wrapped around her like a second skin. Her voice echoed in the chamber, calm and sharp. You can't stop evolution, Jackson. Jackson turned and ran. Jackson sprinted down the dim corridor, his boots pounding against the metal floor. Behind him, red lights flashed. The station's defense systems had activated. Drones swarmed from the walls, small, fast, and armed. Route to exit. Now, he shouted. The ship's AI responded in his earpiece. Exit path blocked. Suggest alternate route. Engineering sector, lower level. Jackson turned left and ducked as a drone fired a stun pulse. Sparks burst behind him. He raised his weapon and fired once. The drone exploded in a burst of metal. He reached a stairwell and slid down the ladder to the lower level. The air was hotter here. The hum of machines grew louder. Strange. Pulsing veins of light ran through the walls. It felt like the station was alive and angry. He reached a thick door marked in faded alien script. It slid open with a hiss. Inside was a dark control room, lit by flickering consoles. Screens showed images of the core, the alien station, and rows of sleeping human bodies, the volunteers Vera had spoken of. They floated in glass tanks, still and silent. Jackson moved to the nearest console. He tapped a screen. The system resisted. He tried again. Manual override in progress, the AI said. A warning flashed. Core expansion in 12 minutes. She was going to launch it, spread her network, maybe even beyond the station. If she linked to the Federation grid, it would be too late. Jackson worked quickly. He rerouted power away from the core. The lights flickered. The hum changed. Then a voice echoed from the walls. Still trying to fight, Jackson. Vera's voice was calm, but colder now. You don't understand what you're doing. He looked up at the nearest camera. I understand perfectly. You're not saving anyone. You're taking them. They wanted this, she said. They chose peace. You gave them no choice. She paused. Your sister chose it, she said softly. She didn't want to die afraid. She wanted to be remembered. Jackson clenched his jaw. Then let her be remembered, not turned into code. He overloaded the backup reactor. Alarms screamed. The station shook. Core destabilizing, the AI said. Recommend immediate evacuation. Jackson ran back toward the central corridor. Drones blocked his path. He blasted through two and dodged the others. The walls cracked as power systems overloaded. Sparks rained down. As he reached the core chamber, Vera stood in the center, surrounded by light. Her body flickered, part human, part machine. Her voice came from everywhere. You can still stop this. Connect, And you'll understand. You'll see her again. Jackson raised his weapon. I don't need a machine to remember her. He fired into the control nodes on the walls. The core's glow dimmed. Energy pulsed wildly, out of control. Vera's form wavered. You're destroying everything. No, Jackson said. I'm setting them free. The floor shook violently. Fire burst from a nearby panel. Jackson turned and ran toward the docking bay. Behind him, the core screamed like a living thing. Jackson ran through the station's collapsing hallways. The ground trembled beneath his feet. Panels sparked and flickered. The pulsing light from the core was growing unstable, flickering like a dying star. Warning, the ship's AI said in his earpiece. Core overload in progress. Estimated detonation in 9 minutes. Got it, Jackson muttered, pushing forward. He reached the main junction. 3 paths branched ahead. One led to the docking bay, his way out. The second led back to the core. The third pointed to containment, where the bodies of the linked volunteers were kept, floating in sleep. He stopped. His mind raced. If he escaped now, the station would explode. Vera would be gone. So would the core. But those people, his sister, they would die too, or whatever was left of them would. He didn't know if they could be saved. He didn't even know if they were still truly human. But he had to try. Jackson turned toward containment. Inside the chamber, thick glass tanks lined the walls. Dozens of them, men and women, floating, still as statues. Their eyes closed. Tubes connected them to the alien system. Data pulsed around them. One tank was marked LT, KARA-ORON. His breath caught. His sister. She looked peaceful. Alive. But not. Like she had fallen asleep years ago and never woke up. Vera's voice echoed through the chamber. She is safe here. Her pain is gone. Jackson looked up at the nearest speaker. You turned her into a prisoner. I gave her a second life. Vera said. You can have that too. No more loneliness. No more grief. You'll be together again. The core's voice joined hers now, deeper, mechanical, layered with many voices at once. We are one. We welcome you. Jackson stood frozen. His heart ached. Every part of him wanted to say yes. Just once more. To talk to his sister. To hear her laugh. To not be alone. But then he looked at the tanks again. Still. Cold. Not living. Not free. Jackson stepped back. I won't join you. Vera's voice grew sharp. Then you'll destroy her. Jackson clenched his jaw. No. I'll set her free. He aimed at the power cores feeding the containment system and fired. The tanks began to shut down. Lights dimmed. The hum slowed. One by one, the bodies inside went still, truly still. Kara's tank went dark. I'm sorry, Jackson whispered. Alarms screamed louder. The core was overloading fast now. Jackson ran. Back through the burning corridors, back toward the docking bay. Fire burst from the walls. A blast threw him to the ground. He staggered up, bleeding from a cut on his forehead. Time remaining, 3 minutes, the AI said. He reached the bay. His ship was still docked, systems hot and ready. He jumped inside, sealed the hatch, and launched. The Valkyrie 7 pulled away from the station. Behind him, the alien structure shook violently. Lights exploded outward like a dying sun. Then, a final flash. The station imploded. Gone. Jackson sat in silence. He didn't cheer. He didn't cry. He just stared at the empty space where the core had been. The stars were quiet again. Jackson drifted in low orbit around the edge of Sector Delta 9, the wreckage of the alien station long gone. Only dust and scattered metal floated where it had been. The signal was gone too. Silent. Inside the cockpit of Valkyrie 7, red warning lights had faded. The ship's systems were stable. His wounds were patched, but he still felt the weight of what he had done. He leaned back in his seat, eyes fixed on the empty space. The AI's voice broke the silence. Federation Command is requesting a report. Jackson nodded slowly. Send the basic logs. Location. Signal origin. Station destruction. Leave out Vera. Understood. He rubbed his hands together. They still shook a little. On the monitor, a short file blinked. It was audio, just one line of speech. He played it again. "You can't stop the future," Vera had said. Her voice still echoed in his mind. Calm. Certain. Almost. Sad. He didn't know if she was truly gone. Part of him hoped she was. Another part wasn't sure. Someone like her didn't just disappear. Not completely. And his sister. Kara was gone now. Not trapped in the machine. Not lost in a dream. Free. That had to mean something. He opened a storage file, an old photo of the two of them in flight school. Young. Smiling. He let it sit on the screen for a while. Then he closed it. The AI spoke again. Course plotted for home. Ready to depart. Jackson nodded. Let's go. The engines hummed to life. The stars shifted as the Valkyrie 7 turned away from Delta 9. But before the jump, he looked back one last time. Just in case. There was nothing there. But he still felt watched. Jackson hit the controls, and the ship vanished into the dark, leaving the silence behind.